It's July 30th, but I figured I would start the vlog. I'm moving into my new place. Most of what I've moved has been either kitchen stuff or books. So this is what I'm doing the next few days. There might be brief updates, but it's like 90 degrees outside. I'm hot and tired. I don't know how much updating there's gonna be. Last night was my first night at the new place. It's so nice. Like, I can set the temperature to a normal setting, like 75, and it just like stays at 75. Who knew? I don't know, I love it. It's really nice so far and quiet. Relative to here, so quiet. Today I came back to the old place, which is where I am now, and I am packing mostly like books. I have a lot of books. I've taken like more than half of them. I just have like all this junk left. There's also like food in the kitchen and like random miscellaneous stuff that just hasn't been taken yet. So I'm working on that here, and I'm also listening to Lauren Graham's audiobook for Talking as Fast as I Can. I have already read this. I read a physical copy and I didn't love it. Like, I wanted to really enjoy it, and it was like fine. So I decided to listen to the audiobook to see if I like that better, you know, because that does seem like a book that listening to it is a very different experience than reading it. But to be honest, so far I'm having like the same feelings towards it, but that's fine. I just wanted to see if like maybe I enjoyed it better that way. I'm gonna be listening to a lot more audiobooks now because my commute is significantly longer. So lots of audiobooks, and today is just like mostly just packing up stuff. I'm hoping like if I do one trip today, then that means like the rest of the trips I can just do as I'm like coming back to clean this apartment, because I haven't cleaned it yet. It's like covered in disgusting cat hair, you know, as it does. But yeah, I'm just trying to like get things done so that hopefully it's like an easy process the rest of the week, because today is the 1st of August, so it's Monday, and I want to turn in my keys next Monday, which is the 8th, to this place. They're not due yet, but like I just want to be done. I hate it here so much. But yeah, it's just like packing up all these books, which is super easy. Books are heavy and annoying to move, but like so easy to pack and unpack because like it takes me seconds. So I'm just gonna be listening to the audiobook and doing that. I have been meaning to film an update for the longest time, and just like I just get tired and don't. But I've been reading a lot because now I can't go home on my lunch break at work, so I just have like a straight hour to read at work between my 2:15s and my 30-minute lunch, which means I get a lot of reading done. Plus I've been dog sitting, so I've been reading there too. Plus I have a very long commute, so I listen to an audiobook, which means I've finished 2 books this month, 1 physical, 1 audio, and I'm like almost done with another physical book and like halfway done with my audiobook. I finished Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham, which still didn't love. I want to love that book, but I just don't. And I read The Girls at 17 Swann Street by Yara, Zgheib, which was fantastic. Love it. Highly recommend. And now I'm listening to the audiobook Waiting to Be Heard by Amanda Knox, which is interesting. I wasn't sure for the longest time that I wanted to read it, just because like true crime stuff sometimes feels, I don't know, it gives me like a gross feeling, like I don't want to be involved in it, you know. But like, I don't know, it's interesting. Basically she was accused of her roommate's murder in Italy. It's a memoir. I mean, I said true crime. It's like, it is true crime, but it's like memoir. It's like her story, not the story of the crime, but her story is like the crime is integral to her story. But she was accused of her roommate's murder when they were studying abroad in Italy, and she was convicted and then acquitted and then convicted again and then acquitted again. And yeah, I want to say most people at this point accept that she probably didn't do it, but I know there is still some question about that. But her memoir is interesting. I don't love it, but it is like, it's just her story. I remember this case was from when I was like 13, and it was like all over the news and headlines and tabloids, and like I didn't read that much about it, but I was definitely like aware of it. So it's interesting. It's like her story. It's very, very defensive, but like also if you've been convicted for something twice that you didn't do, you would probably also be very defensive. So can't really blame her for that. But it is very like repetitive, might not be the right word, but like if you know anything about the case, most of the information she's giving you is not new. I'm really interested once we get past, because the section I'm at is like right around the time of the murder and her arrest and her like first few weeks of imprisonment, and it's like this is probably going to be the most boring part of the book because this is the part that like we've heard the most about, you know? So like it is just like if you followed the case or knew anything about it at all, you know this part of the story. So I'm more interested in like long term, like what happens to her. I'm on like part 5 or 6 of 12 in the audiobook, so I've still got a ways to go. I'm more interested, like I was very interested at the beginning, and I'm more interested in stuff happening later. It's just like the part I'm at I'm not loving, but like overall I'm really, really enjoying the audiobook. And the physical book I'm reading is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood, which is fantastic. I got this on recommendation from Bobby Reed's channel. I'll link her down below. She loved this book, and this is fantastic. I'm loving this so much. This is a story of a girl. It starts when she's 5. She's abused, you know, deeply traumatized, and essentially she meets this man and they form a relationship together, and then it eventually becomes romantic. And yeah, she's 7 when they meet and the guy's like 20. So it's so gross. It makes me want to vomit. Like, it is so graphic in terms of the sex. And, you know, when she's young, you know, not like she's 25 and they've started their relationship. I mean, like, she's 12. I'm like mostly done. It's really fantastic. I was leaning towards 5 stars for the longest time for this book because it was like so good. But I feel like the final third is maybe like not as amazingly good, so it's probably gonna be like a 4-star read. I adore this. Like, this is just like, oh, it's so dark and so sad, and like at points you're almost like rooting for the guy and his relationship with her, and then you're like, wait, no, she's 12, that's disgusting, go to prison. And like, it's so good. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, at points it's made me sick to my stomach, but like in like a good way, you know, like it's supposed to. I don't know. But it's really, really good. And I feel like, and I think I know the ending it's gearing up towards, but like I just want to keep reading. It's fantastic. I wouldn't recommend this to everyone, just like because it is a lot. Like, just realistically, it's a lot. So yeah, I love it. I gotta see what else she's written, because this was a 2016 book. And this is so good. It's so well written. The characters are so well done. It's multiple perspective, which is weird at times. Because it'll skip between, like, people who don't really have anything to do with the story sometimes. Like, it'll be like, oh, this one court reporter will give you their perspective on this scene. And it's like, I'd rather hear this from the point of view of one of the characters, you know? I mean, the court reporter is a character, but, like, from someone who matters. And like, I understand why she's made some of the choices she has, but like, I don't know, this book is a lot, but like in a fantastic way.
I hope the ending is good, because like it definitely towards like the final third got a little bit like dramatic, and I kind of liked it when it was more low-key, just like this story of this girl, and then it got like a lot more, and that was where it started losing me just a little bit, but it's so good. Like, I don't know, I'm having a great time reading this, and I was reading it at work, and I was like, oh, please God, don't let anyone ask me what my book is about today, because I really don't want to explain it, because like, if you read the back, it's like, love knows no boundaries, a beautiful and provocative love story between two unlikely people and their hard-won relationship, and it's like, no, not really, no, not at all. She's 12. I mean, she's 7 at a point, and she's like 18 now, where I am in the story. It's a lot. No, I'm really loving this. Like, this was a great recommendation, and like just a fantastic book. It's so good and so vile and so wonderful, and like, I don't know, I don't love the description of it, but apart from that, like, the book knows what it's doing. Like, that's why it doesn't bother me. It's not like, oh yay, pedophilia is good. It's like the characters think they're doing okay things, and the narrative's not like, this is wrong, we need to like have a lesson here, but it's like, it knows what it's doing. It's just, I'm loving this. This is like one of my favorite things. I mean, so is The Girls at 17 Swann Street. That's also one of my favorite things. I gave that 5 stars. I haven't read my review for it, but it's gonna be 5 stars. This might be. I don't know. I want to see how it ends, because like, it got kind of dicey there for a minute for me, but like, so good.
Guess who forgot their book at work today? Yeah, I'm not thrilled with myself over that. I was in a hurry, so I just left it in my desk drawer, and yeah, it's still there. So, not gonna be reading tonight, probably. I mean, like, I have other TBR books, but like, nothing I really want to be reading simultawously. I had picked up America Anonymous. That's what I had started today. Didn't get very far in. Yeah, I wound up having to skip one of my breaks because there was a management meeting that I attended, unfortunately. But I am getting a raise. Again, chill. Yeah, so reading has slowed down a little. Because I didn't read much over the weekend because I was once again just moving stuff and talk sitting and completely overwhelmed by life. But as you can see behind me, I do have my bookshelf set up. This wall, there's my sloth. I have my 3 small IKEA bookshelves, then there's another window, and then I have my 2 tall bookshelves, and then there's the bathroom and the closets and everything. And then on the other wall, I might show y'all in a minute, the other wall is empty. Like, there's a corner on the other side of the window over there. Kitty, hi Minnie. She's not stoked, but that whole corner is empty. So I kind of kept my bookshelves like crammed together on this side of the room so that hopefully I can buy more bookshelves and put them on that side of the room and then just have a library. That's my plan anyway. I have to buy bookshelves. And I haven't like done any organizing. Like, they're all empty. That's just book haul books, and then books I've read, and then that stack up there is TBR books for this month. It's a lot. All my books are just all over the floor right now, and then in a stack of boxes by the TV, so I need to organize, but I'm not sure how to do it or what I want to do, or if I'm going to be getting new shelves soon, or how I want to organize them. If I want to separate like TBR books and red books, because I kind of did for a while, and then everything got really mixed together at my last place. And originally, the way my books were organized when I had space for them all, when I was living with my parents like years ago at this point, I had them organized like a library. So it would be like by genre, and then like alphabetical by author's last name within the genre, with like some small exceptions to like keep authors together, you know? So like if they wrote like YA fantasy and then wrote like an adult contemporary, it'd be like, okay, they're different genres, but I'll keep them together anyway. and all my like read books and unread books were mixed together. That's kind of how I prefer it, but I don't know if I should separate unread books, but also I have so many that like I don't want to have like 2 different sections really, and also not all of my books are here, so it's like, do I want to organize them and then bring all my books from my parents' house in a month and have to reorganize them? Hello, Spleen. I don't know. Also, I forgot to mention Spleen had to go to the emergency vet over the weekend, so very unhappy little kitty. I felt so bad. She was so scared there, and just like, she's just a baby. Unhappy. Mimi left. She just has an infection. She's fine. I just get to squirt medicine into her mouth twice a day for 5 days, so everyone involved is loving that. So I need to start organizing my shelves a little, just because I have so many books that they're like taking up the entire floor over there. Like, let me rotate. This is what my floor looks like now. Just like stacks and stacks of books everywhere. It's not fun, but I don't know. I might just dump them on my shelves randomly and then like organize them at a later date. I don't know. I don't know what my plan is. It is August 11th. As you can see, hello, Spleen. Sweet little. Hi. As you can see, I have filled in my bookshelves. Huzzah. They're not in the slightest organized. Like, I have Richard Castle books on like 3 or 4 different shelves. Like, I just dumped everything up there. She's being very sweet. Hi. Yes. You having a good day, Willow? Yeah, I just kind of dumped things up there because I realized nothing was gonna happen with these books sitting on my floor for the next month or 2. And I just like them being up there, and they will get reorganized like probably in September or maybe October. I'm gonna do like a full reorganization of like everything, make them pretty, bring down all my books from my parents' house, like all my books will be here. But for now, hello, they're on my shelves. So it at least looks better. If you look at them, it's like, oh, look at those beautiful shelves. I like them. I am reading so many things right now. I'm usually a one book at a time kind of person. Oh, she wants so much attention. Can you give me like 5 minutes, sweetie? She's like, no. My hand. I eat the hand. That's a finger. You don't need to chew on the finger. So many books. Okay, so I finished the audiobook I was listening to, and I started Tears We Cannot Stop by MacLeod Dyson. I don't think I've mentioned this. It's a sermon to white America. It's pretty short. I've been listening to it. It's good. Like, it's good so far. I didn't listen to it today because I was very stressed and wanted to listen to music on my commute, so I did that. That's my audiobook, and physically I'm still reading America Anonymous, which I did actually bring home from work this time. Yeah, this is not really what I expected it to be. It's supposed to be about 8 addicts who he follows just like in their life, in their recovery, in their relapses. But it's not so much about that. Like, it's not that like he doesn't follow them. It's like he checks in with them like every 6 to 8 months, and then like briefly. And then he goes into like talking about the history of addiction and like what experts are saying about addiction and how it's being portrayed, and like, I don't know, I really wanted this. It kind of built itself as like a close look at all these addicts, and it's not really offering that, but it's also not really like giving a great view of addiction in my opinion. So kind of disappointed by this one. I'm not loving it. It's not like terrible, but it's not doing a whole lot for me either. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm decently into it. Like, I will probably finish it like tonight or tomorrow at the latest. And then, because I've been so stressed at work, I was like, you know what, I don't feel like doing my job. So I downloaded an ebook from the library that I started reading, and I think I'm just gonna like go through ebooks while I'm at work, because like I can do that quickly when I'm stressed, just like spend a couple minutes reading an ebook. Nothing like super serious. I marked a bunch of thrillers on my library list, because thrillers are kind of easy to dip in and out of. They're easy to follow, like, so I started reading The Photographer by, what's her name? Hang on, let me check real quick. Mary Dixie Carter. Hadn't heard of this one. It was just like, I looked up thrillers and it was the top one, and I was like, that's what we're reading. I'm like 50 pages in to like this 350-page book, and so far nothing has happened. She's a photographer, mostly of like children. Like, I think she in general photographs like wealthy people's children. That seems to be like her main focus, and she's like obsessed with this one family and has started like editing herself into their pictures, like as like the mother, as the wife, as like just like part of the family, and she's starting to get closer to them, and it's weird. I don't know how much I love it. It's like not so much good weird, just like weird, but I'm also not very far in, and I don't really know what the story's gonna be yet, but it's definitely giving weird vibes. So I get a feeling this month is gonna be a high reading month. Not so much because I'm getting through my physical TBR that is, you know, the plan, but kind of just like everything else that I'm reading on top of that. The books are just kind of adding up. I feel like every time I film one of these, I'm just like, still reading. Here are basic thoughts. The end. And it's like the same books. At least like that's the feeling I have. I'm not sure if that's actually accurate or not. But I'm making progress on my audiobook, which is Tears We Cannot Stop, which is really wonderful, really thought-provoking. Like, I highly recommend. I'm not going to rate that book because it is definitely like not for me to rate. So the lighting in here is horrible. It's just what we're going with. And then I'm making really good progress on America Anonymous, which I still don't love. It's definitely more like discussions of experts and addiction in general, and then like just briefly about their lives. And I really thought it was gonna be like a deep dive into their lives. And also like the author definitely includes a lot more like personal judgments on them and like his thoughts than I really expected him to. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's more like nothing than actively bad. It's just like, I don't know. It wasn't what I expected to be, and it's not doing much that I'm really loving. So that's disappointing. But no progress on the ebook. Because I did things at work today. The horror. I also started The Morning After by Lisa Jackson. I just didn't want something that was going to be like at all difficult to focus on. So I was like, romantic suspense. Let's read this. This will be like fun and very easily entertaining. And it's better than The Night Before. The Night Before was the first one in this series is kind of like a strong word. World. It's about different characters in the same universe, like side characters from the first one. And it's better, like better story, better characters, better written, but in a way that kind of makes it less enjoyable and worse, because the first one was just like so ridiculous, so over the top. It was such a wild ride. Like, I don't have the words to describe that first book. So like, it set the bar really high. Like, was it good? No. Was it one of the more enjoyable reading experiences I've had? Absolutely. And this is kind of more just like standard, you know? Like, it's very like basic thriller building up to like a little bit of romance. It's definitely like more thriller than romance, which I think the first one kind of was too, which is weird. Like, I know like romantic suspense is very like romance in a thriller story, but I always kind of imagine it as like romance first, thriller second. Like, you could take the romance out of this book and it would still function as a book, but you couldn't take the thriller out of it. Like, it just wouldn't be anything anymore. But I don't know, it's just like kind of bland, kind of generic. I was expecting a roller coaster after the night before, and I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm not getting that, but it's not bad. Like, it's fine. It's honestly just like, oh, I'm just reading a cop thriller, you know? Main character's a journalist investigating a serial killer. Like, I've read this book before. It's not a bad book. It's just like, the night before was doing so much, and it was not doing it well, but it was doing so much, and I liked it a lot. Yeah, so this was a little bit of a letdown, but I'm like decently into it, like a little more than halfway. I don't know, it's fine. I have actually made progress on things today. Last night I finished Hello Puppy. You coming to be in the shot? Well, you get a wagging puppy butt. Fudgy. Hi, cutie. Hi. Yes, other cuties. So many cuties. As soon as I sit on the floor, they're like, let's play. Let's get pets. Let's cuddle. They act like I give them no attention, and I give them all of the attention. Hello. Do you want to go outside? Is that what you want? Well, I'm sitting right by the door, if I can reach the deadbolt. There you go. Puppies are out. Last night I finished America Anonymous, which I don't have any additional thoughts on. Like, it is what it is. And today I read more of The Photographer, which I don't love, honestly. I think perhaps I just prefer cop thrillers to psychological thrillers. Like, it's not terrible. It's just about this woman who is ingratiating herself into this wealthy family, but in like a creepy way. Like, she's clearly like gonna like wind up murdering someone. It's very like manipulative and calculated and like all that. And she references things like, oh, like this friend dumped me, but I had nursed her back to health when she'd broken several bones. And it's like, you get the vibe that she broke the bones because she broke them, you know? Like, she broke her friend's bones, is what I'm saying. I mean, they don't say that, but like, that's 100% the vibe I get. Come in, puppy. In and out all day long. And then just now I finished The Morning After by Lisa Jackson, which, not too many more thoughts on this. Like, it's a lot better structured than The Night Before, and it made sense, whereas The Night Before did not make sense. I don't actually know what that book was. Do you want to go back out? There you go. This is my entire life. The Night Before did not make sense as a book. Like, it was so weird and so off topic, like, at all times, and everything was weird and sketch and didn't make sense, and like, there was so much going on and so much wrong, and like, this was kind of like standard thriller stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, it was super creepy. Like, there's this dude who's like killing people in creepy, horrifying ways. Like, they call him the Gravedigger because he buried his victims alive. But not only did he bury them alive, he buried them with a corpse. Like, a corpse that had been dead, usually for an extended period of time, and then the live victim just on top of the corpse, which is gross and horrifying. There's a lot of that in this book, but like, it was just kind of very standard, like, investigating the crime. You know, there wasn't a lot of weird stuff going on, apart from, like, that was clearly, like, weird. You know, it was very, like, typical thriller. And to be honest, I feel like you could not honestly tell someone this was a romantic suspense novel. Like, not remotely. You could cut out the romance of this book completely, and you would probably lose about 6 pages of text. Yes, you can come back in. Okay, you can come in too. Like, there is romance in it, you know, technically, but I've read standard thrillers, like not romantic suspense thrillers, just thrillers that happen to have a romance subplot that have so much more romance than this book. And I mean, like, I don't care. Like, I wasn't reading it because it was romantic suspense. I honestly thought it was a thriller when I bought it, but like, I don't know, it's so weird, and the romance is so forced and so awkward and like horribly written. Like, at one point he was just like, they're attracted to each other for a minute, and that's like 90% of the romance in this book, and he'll look at her and just think, wow, what an evocative ass. And like, what does that even mean? I don't know, but like, it wasn't terrible. I kind of wish it was worse, because if it was worse, then like, I'd have had a lot more fun. Like, I had so much fun reading the night before, and reading this was just kind of like, it exists, you know? Like, I'm not against reading more of her books. I own like 2 more, I think, and I'll definitely read them, but the night before was like a special kind of hell. And like, if you like books that are like so bad it's good, highly recommend. That book was a wild ride. It was a roller coaster of a book. 10 out of 10. Amazing reading experience. This not so much, so kind of disappointed, but you know, we live and we learn. The only 2 books I brought with me beyond these, the 2 I just finished, are Snow Crash and Heirs of Power. So I don't really want to read either of those. I've heard very mixed things about Snow Crash. Like, I either hear that people love it and it's like their favorite thing ever, or they didn't like it. So really curious. And also, the people who loved it seem like they tend to not have the same reading taste as me, but we'll see. Also, I just don't like the font, the way the pages are. I don't know, something about the formatting of it I don't love, because I looked at it and was like, And then Heirs of Power, I'm just like scared to start because it's an indie book, and like, I'm always just scared of indie books. So gotta read one of them, because that's all I have to read. It's the 17th, I think. Not 100% certain on that, but it's close to the 17th, if not exactly. Hello. As soon as I sit down, the puppies are like, attention, attention, attention. And I'm like, I've been giving you attention since I got home 2 hours ago. They're so tired. We've been outside playing fetch and they're happy. I've been reading. Thank you for that, Fletchy. I've been reading Heirs of Power by Kate MacLeod. This is good. Like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm almost done. I started this yesterday, and I would have finished it if I hadn't had to work today, but I'll finish it tonight. I stayed up until like 11 p.m. reading last night, which doesn't sound late, but I usually work at 6 or 7 in the morning, so that's pretty late for me. But yeah, this is pretty fantastic. I did struggle a lot with the beginning of this book. Like, not that it was bad. It was borderline. I didn't connect with it. It was very, very heavy exposition and very like lots of dialogue explaining everything that was happening, and it was very difficult for me to get into it and like really care about it. Like, it was interesting, but I wasn't connecting with it. And then because I wasn't connecting with it, I was noticing all the little nitpicky things about the writing style that were bothering me, which, like, I'm not saying they disappeared later in the book. It's just that because I got absorbed in the story and the writing, they stopped mattering, which is kind of like how it is in books. So like, whenever I'm sitting here feeling very nitpicky about something, like, oh, like these dialogue tags I'm not a fan of, or like the way the characters are addressed or whatever, like, it's less about that and more that those nitpicky things are indicative of the greater problem that I'm not connecting with the story. But I think around the halfway mark, I did start really enjoying it a lot more, and now I'm like invested. Haven't bought the second 2 yet. I want to say there are 3. Haven't bought them yet, but plan to. Soon, very soon, hopefully. I'm hoping in a few days I'm gonna order them and then read them this month or next month, whenever they get it, probably, because it is just like really enjoyable and I'd recommend it. It is like kind of not my thing and kind of a little too fast paced for my liking, but like I'm really, really enjoying it. And then I finished the audiobook. I was listening to Tears We Cannot Stop. Is that what it was called? I finished it a few days ago, so like I'm kind of blanking. By Michael Eric Dyson, which was a sermon to white America, and that was really, really worthwhile. I was expecting it to be like a lot blunter and more harsh, a lot more blunt and a lot harsher. That was the right way than it was. But it was kind of just like him sharing his experiences and talking directly to white people about racism, and really worthwhile. I highly recommend that. Like, it's not something that I'm going to rate because it's not a book that's like for me to rate. I didn't read it for like enjoyment. Like, I don't know. It's valuable, you know? And like, I would highly recommend reading it. I think you probably should if you're a white American. I mean, like, not 100%, but like there were a lot of really worthwhile things in it. So I highly recommend that. And then I started listening to a new audiobook. Again, there was like a few days in between. Hand to Mouth by, oh, I forgot her name. Laura Tirado? That might not be right at all. I'll include it over here always. But that is basically about, it's called Hand to Mouth Living in Bootstrap America, and it's basically about working low-paying jobs and like living in poverty and what that's like, and yeah, just like what it's like to be poor in America, like how you get poor in America, how you survive doing it, what your working is like, just like everything. And I think it's really interesting. So far, I'm like a quarter of the way, and I just started it on my lunch break today, and I'm kind of just like, I'm probably just going to keep listening to it tonight because it's kind of cathartic. I'm not necessarily learning so much from it because a lot of it is about like what these low paying jobs are like, what they expect from you and all that kind of thing, and like how you have to live your life when you have these low paying jobs. And like, as a 28-year-old who's basically only worked retail, you know, like not 100%, but like the majority of the jobs in my life have been retail jobs. She's kind of preaching to the choir, you know, like none of this information is new to me. This is just my life. Like, I have a full-time retail job, which I'm lucky to have, honestly. Like, I got lucky with my position right now. But it is kind of like validating to hear someone else just like discuss all the crap that you go through at work when you work those kind of jobs. And I don't know how much I'm getting out of it beyond just like validation that like, yeah, this sucks. But that's one that I would highly recommend to people who haven't worked a lot of jobs in the service industry, either like retail or fast food or like anything like that. Because I think it's enlightening if you don't know what it's like. But again, I know what it's like, so it's kind of just validating, and it's kind of like soothing me a little to just hear someone else be like, yes, this really sucks, this is terrible. And I'm like, thank you for validating my existence and my pain. But I am just like enjoying it. I just got off of work, so I'm in like a mood, and it's just like to hear her talk about how much it sucks and how much all those rules suck and like how easy it is to get fired, and like I like it. Very validating. So I would recommend that to people who don't work those kind of jobs, who aren't in those situations, because it is a lot about, I think she worked a lot of retail and a lot of fast food and some kitchens too, I think. I don't fully remember. A lot of the book is very like ranty, which again is kind of the mood I'm in. So it's pretty short. I think it's only like 4 or 5 hours long. So I'm probably just going to listen to the whole thing tonight before I go to bed, and then finish Heirs of Power. And then tomorrow I have off, like an actual real day off. Like, I'm dog sitting, but these dogs are chill, so I'm not like concerned about it. and it's the first like relaxing day off I've had in a minute, and I'm just so like relieved that it's finally here because I desperately needed it. So I'm gonna go back to my audiobook and then finish Heirs of Power soon, and then tomorrow, I don't know what the game plan is for tomorrow, but I'll think of something. So it is the 19th. I have read 5 of my 8 books that were on my original TBR. I'm in the process of 2 more of them, and I have finished 9 books so far this month. I am in the middle of 4 books right now, which will be books 10, 11, 12, and 13 of the month. And at this point, I don't even know if it's worth mentioning them and talking about them all in detail, because this is just how the month has been going for me. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just dog sitting, which you can hear him slurping loudly. Thank you. And I read a lot when I'm dog sitting, because it's really easy to just like chill on the sofa with the dogs once they're tired out and want to chill, and get a lot read, plus reading at work, plus listening to audiobooks on my commute, and I am just like getting through stuff. The books I'm reading now, the first one is an audiobook about what happens to dead bodies that are donated to science, and other things, but that is largely like the point. The second one is Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, which is lovely. The third is an ebook. It's a thriller by Wendy Walker, I don't know what it's called, about a woman who goes missing and her young 21-year-old daughter is looking for her. And then the fourth is a nonfiction legal argument on abortion and euthanasia. So, what is my reading taste? Please help. I don't know what I'm doing. All of these books are enjoyable. I like them all thus far. The legal argument on abortion and euthanasia is a little bit like, but it's not terrible. And I want to get more into it because I think he'll have interesting thoughts more on the euthanasia side of things. But yeah, all good books. Enjoying them all. They have nothing in common. My reading taste is confused, but this month has just been like reading constantly, so we'll see what more I get read by the end of the month. At this point, I'm just like, if I can get through my TBR, that would be amazing. Anything else is kind of just like cherry on top at this point. It is August 24th. Hello, Spleen. She's so fluffy. Spleen. Yes, that's Mimi napping on a box. I've still been reading and finishing things. I have finished 11 books so far this month. I don't even remember them all. I just sat down this morning and wrote Goodreads reviews for all of them because I hadn't done that yet. Mildly concerning that I put it off for so long, but I did it this morning. I've been dog sitting so much this month that I just hadn't had time between that and moving. I'm dog sitting tonight again, tomorrow, and then over the weekend, beginning of next week, and then I'm done, like, for good. Apart from my parents' dog, who I can't like not dog sit for, unfortunately, because she's kind of the worst. But tomorrow I have like a real day off. I don't have to dog sit during the day because my sister's there. So I can just like leave and come back here and chill all day and like unpack things. Like all of these boxes that are just behind me can be unpacked. Thank God, because they need to be. I haven't put anything away. All of my clothes are in boxes or a hamper. That's it. That's all my clothes. I can't find anything. It's just like not ideal. Not fun. I am reading Life's Dominion, which I've mentioned. I've made very little progress. It's kind of boring, but I think I just need to make myself read it and like get into it, because like it's not gonna like draw me in by the narrative. Like it's a legal argument. It's gonna be like interesting, but in a legal argument way. And I've just been reading a lot of narrative stuff, so like it's just like readjusting my mindset for that. She's being cute. Look at that, she's playing. Her and Mimi right beside each other. I'm also reading Snow Crash by Neal Stephenson. I'm almost done. Thank God. I've been reading this book for so long. I mean, not that long. It's been a couple of days. But the only reason I am this far in is because on my last day off, I was dog sitting, so I was with the dogs like all day. But I had basically the entire day to read this. Like I could just sit here and like read like 20 pages and then go do something else and then read another 20 pages, and I got through like half the book doing that. It literally took the entire day. This is not great. I would recommend this to you if you are a tech bro with no personality. Beyond that, probably not. This is, oh, it's so boring and like hard to follow, and the character development is not there, and there's so much dialogue just like explaining everything because there's not really much story. It's just like rough. Yeah, I'm not loving it, but I'm almost done. So I have like 100 pages left. I'll get through it. I DNF'd something last month, so I really didn't want to DNF anything this month. And it's not like DNF worthy, it's DNF worthy. It's just really hard to follow. Tomorrow, because I do have the day off and I don't have to like babysit the dog during the day, I'm gonna film my July wrap up. It's been a minute. I took basically the entire month of August off booktube, which not my favorite thing, but I do feel like it was necessary for me, and I want to get back into it. And then hopefully this weekend I have Saturday off and actually like nothing to do on Saturday, so I'm hoping I'll film something else and like edit things and like start actually like getting my life together. I also need to figure out filming in this room because I set up my shelves like this, which means that's not the ideal lighting spot, or like that one over there, which is kind of better but not the best shelves to film in front of. So haven't decided that yet, and I'm going to finish these 2 physical books soon. Not 100% sure when, but before the end of the month. So I need to figure out something else to read. I was going to read the other 2 books in the Constellation saga, the 2 sequels to Heirs of Power, because I did really enjoy that by the end of that book. So I ordered them, and then I think Amazon has lost my package. So tomorrow I think I'm gonna have to get a refund and then reorder them, which like, I just want my books. I hate using Amazon. I would never use Amazon if I had another choice, but I will get those eventually, maybe not this month. I need to find something else on my shelves because I had ebooks on my TBR, so I wasn't expecting to have to find something else, but I will. It's not like it's hard. It's not like I don't have options, you know? And then because I'll be at home, I will probably film a video tomorrow. Yeah, tonight and tomorrow. Going through my books there. I'm gonna take a bunch of boxes so I can pack up my books there. I have so many. And like go through them and see which ones I want to keep and which I'm getting rid of, which I won't actually be getting rid of because like they're at my parents' and I kind of need my parents' permission to get rid of anything there because some of them might be like theirs or might be things they're attached to, but we'll see. I plan on going through them, and then this room will be full of boxes of books. So that's pretty much where I'm at. My bookshelves are pretty. I love them. They're just like, they make me happy. I love them being set up in here. There was a minute where they weren't, and it just like, it looks so empty without a library. Hello, Splain. Someone's at the window, so Splain's gotta check it out. Who's there? Are you being my guard cat? It is the 27th. I can't tell if it's dark in here or not. I haven't had the lights on all day. I just have the big window like open and it's pretty. I like living somewhere with so much natural light. Like I can just like open the blinds and there's light. It's wonderful. It's the 27th, I think. I am actually doing booktube things today. This is my first day off in like a month and a half where I'm actually at home and not like doing anything. Like, I'm off and I'm home and I'm not moving. I can't remember the last one. Like, the middle of July, maybe? Maybe not even then. Like, it's been a minute. So, I'm very, very happy. I finished Snow Crash. 1 star. Not a fan. Very many negative feelings about that book. That might be the worst thing I've read so far this year. So, I also finished Stiff by Mary Roach, which was the audiobook I was listening to. It was about, like, dead bodies and what doctors and scientists use them for, and it was really, really interesting and kind of funny. So, would recommend. And now, I don't even remember what audiobook I'm listening to. That's fine. Audiobooks matter the least to me. I am physically reading The Mage-Lord's Legacy by MacLeod because this came. I'm happy. I wasn't really expecting this to come because I thought Amazon lost the package, and it turned out it just, like, randomly showed up one day without anything, like, updating. So, like, it came. I also have the 3rd one, but it's far away, so I'm not showing it. But yay, I'm excited. I am decently into this. Hopefully finish by the end of the month. Probably won't finish the 3rd by the end of the month. Just how it's going. What was I gonna say? I filmed today, and I've been working on booktube stuff. I've been watching some videos because I haven't watched videos in a month, and what have I been doing? I filmed 2 videos. I filmed my July wrap-up and my September TBR, so that's good. And I've been moving the books from my childhood bedroom at my parents' house, I've been moving them here, and I'm filming a video for that, and then my vlog. So that'll be 4 videos that'll go up soon. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm doing things. I don't know. It's so good to be off. I'm actually gonna die. I just was, like, filming a clip and was almost done, and then it just died. My phone was just like, no, your alarm came, so we deleted that video. Sorry. It's August 29th. I'm so tired. I've been getting, like, less than 5 hours of sleep a night, and I just, like, cannot function anymore. And, like, I'm kind of psychologically breaking apart. I'm so delusionally tired. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I wanted to finish this vlog because it's way too long, and also, like, I just want to get started editing it and doing everything, and just, like, I don't have the energy to film for the rest of this month, and I know I'm not going to. I know it's only gonna get worse for the next 2 days, and then Thursday I'm off. Today's, like, oh god, it's only Monday. I was thinking it was Tuesday because today was really slow at work, but no, today's Monday. Yeah, I forgot my book today, so I didn't get any reading done at work. So, no, I did. I've been reading thrillers on my phone. I've read a lot of thrillers this month, so if you like thrillers, tune into my August wrap-up. There are gonna be a lot of them, and spoiler alert, they were mostly mediocre and fine. I don't know what to say. I'm too tired. I still can't go to bed until, like, 9:30 at the earliest. I'm dog sitting still, and I have to, like, let the dog out at 9 and then come home. It was just unfortunate because today I had to be at work at 6 a.m. and, like, the only way that worked, I had to feed my cats and get ready for work and then drive to the dog and take care of the dog and then drive to work. So I've been up for a very long time and I'm super tired. I don't know if I'm going to finish the abortion book this month, which bums me out because it was the last book on my TBR and I really wanted to get through all the books on my TBR, and I'm just not going to. I mean, I still theoretically could, but, like, I can barely see straight. I can't, like, read a whole ass legal argument. Like, I cannot. So, might give up on that. I'm still trying to get through the Mage-Lord's Legacy, which is the 2nd book in the Constellation Saga, and I'm not, like, it's not that I'm not enjoying it, I just haven't been able to focus on it or, like, get decently into it enough to be like, this is the main point of this book, you know? Like, you know how it's a series, so, like, there's one overarching thing, but each book kind of has different points. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. No, I'm not. I have to stay up. I'm gonna go watch more booktube because I can kind of turn off my brain a little bit and watch it. Thank you for watching this vlog. Next month I will be more put together, hopefully. Yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below, say something, anything. Let me know you were here because that's always fab. And I will see y'all again, hopefully when I'm more awake and in a well-lit area.